All right, you don't need them. All right, what's up, guys? We're back. We finally think we got everything fixed, and like we can finally have an episode 7. We already got Ryan over here waiting for us, so good to have some early, a little bit of an early arrival there, and we can get this thing started. I'm glad we took the week off. We had Dustin's wedding, of course. I've said it on there on the page. Dustin Pleasanton. If you haven't congratulated him, go ahead and congratulate him and Casey on their marriage Saturday, the 17th. So, and right now we are planning on going to VDKA Saturday. So if you're planning on being there, we'll see you there, barring any changes. But yeah, I think we got a good show here. Ryan, like I said, he's waiting on us, and Ian will be on in just a little bit. So pretty excited to talk to them. And if you guys got any questions for them, go ahead and drop them in, and we'll ask them throughout the show. I got some good stories, or maybe not some good stories, but I got a little inside scoop on Ryan. I think talked to Mr. Zach Elliott with Elliott Racing here, repping Zach if you're watching, and I think we can go ahead. You good to go, Ryan? All right, guys. So without any more delay, we'll go ahead and bring Ryan on a few minutes early. So that's good. All right. And bam. Look at that.
There he is.
Yes, it's working. After the headache last time, I'm just glad to see somebody else on the screen besides me.
Yeah. Glad to be here.
Awesome. Thanks for joining us, man. And I mentioned Zach's shirt. I got to get me a Hutchens Racing shirt. Where can I get one?
Ankle, man.
Yeah?
We haven't had Hutchens Motorsport shirts in a couple of years. But me and my brother are talking about getting a couple shirts made with, both of our cars on it, since he finally came back to, my team, or our team this year. But we'll get on that in a couple of weeks probably. Just trying to get back together for the season.
Let me know when you do. I definitely want one.
Will do.
Actually, I'm mandatory. It's mandatory for me to order 2. The wife has the collection of racing shirts just like I do. So
I get it. Shirts than I do.
I think mine does too. So what class are you running this year, Ryan?
We're back in limited stock this year at Virginia Motor Speedway.
Awesome. And I know you've won at least one championship out there. Is it 2 or is it just the 1?
So I've got 2 division championships and 1 Dirt Series championship, which was the #1 rated driver, and that was in 2015. So out of all, there was 5 divisions that year, and I was the top driver that year.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I was the first, and as I know, the only one to ever win it out of limited stock. It's usually someone with a lot of money and late model or modified that comes out with it.
Yeah, for sure. Ian's on here commenting, by the way. I don't know if you can see it, but yeah, what's up, Ian? Oh, you don't see it. Yeah, it's popping up in big letters on the side of my screen, so it's kind of hard to miss. Zach and Ian are on here watching, so thanks for coming in, guys. And Ian, we'll talk to you in just a little bit. But so Ryan, let me ask you. I know you've been running limited stock. Where did you get started in racing?
So I started racing at Virginia Motor Speedway 2004. I was 14, and I struggled a lot. A lot of people don't know that my first season and a half racing, I never finished a race. I started at the bottom, so I know what it's like to struggle. And then, throughout the years, I finally had a turnaround season. 2010, I finally ran my first full season and, finished 10th in points that year. And then 12, 13, and 14, I finished 3rd in points and then hit 2 championships back to back. That's
awesome. And your brother on here, Randy, I don't know if I'd be saying that, man. That's the guy, you and him working on the car together. So he said those guys suck. Is he out in the shop with you?
He's hating.
Oh, that's funny.
Man. Brakes are good to go for Saturday.
That's good. How you guys? what is this, y'all second race of the year, right?
Yeah, coming up. Yep, your second race.
Yeah. Awesome. You got any new sponsors for the year?
Hutchens Mechanical. Man, me and my brother started our own business right before COVID hit, and believe it or not, COVID actually helped our business grow so much faster. Everybody was home and noticing their air conditioner broken. So, not a lot of people, had a lot of good things come out of having people at home, but it helped our business grow a lot. And we were able to buy him or, buy his race car and fund a lot of stuff on my car.
Yeah, for sure. Those, you got to take the positives when you can. And I think that's a big positive for you guys coming out of COVID.
Yeah.
A lot of bad stuff happened during it. So like I said, you got to take that.
But you got to look at the positives. Otherwise, it's not going to be a fun time.
That's right. And I can't help but notice this giant check on the wall behind you. You want to talk about that?
Bank.
What's that?
I said you have to take big checks to big banks. Your local one ain't going to cash it.
Oh, I'll have to remember that if I ever get one. For the guys on here that already have them, you could have told me that.
Yeah.
I got one that's about that big.
Mine's bigger.
Yeah, just by that much. No.
Yeah. He had out the garage tonight because my 2-year-old, he wouldn't let me do this, so I had to come this old race car and all. I don't even like it.
Yeah, my 2-year-old and the wife are outside working on racing stuff now, getting ready for the weekend.
Deal.
I know you and Zach are good buddies, and Ian. How did all you guys meet?
Ooh, that's a lot. Can we do that in 30 minutes?
I got all night.
So Zach, I met him through a past relationship. He knew her, and then his cousin was racing against me, and I knew who his cousin was, but I never would have really talked to Zach without her knowing him. And then me and him just, started hanging out, and that was 12 years ago maybe, and just never looked back. Me and him he's pretty much a brother to him. He's not even a friend anymore. So, and then Ian, he was best friends with a guy named Brandon Sandridge. Mm-hmm. And Brandon raced against me. And when Ian got out of the military, he was working at with Stock Car Products. Now it's Skippy Johnson Motorsports as a counter guy. And I came in there one day and was buying some parts, and he was like, "Man, I like working here, but I just need a career." And I was like, because my day job now, I work at Johnson Controls, and it's a pretty big operation. Yeah. And he asked me if I could find him a job, and you got to stick your neck on the line for people that fought for the country for as long as Ian did, and I'm like, if he wants to better himself, then I was like, all right, I'll help you out. And got him a job with me at Johnson Controls, and we've been best friends ever since. And that was 7 years ago. I don't know. It's been a while. It's been too long. I don't even like the guy that much.
Yeah, I actually met Ian through G-Force, so I've known him for quite a while. We've stayed in contact. But this is my first conversation I'm getting to have with you. So for those of you watching, I'm meeting Ryan for the first time. I can see why Zach and Ian kind of get along with you well. You got that personality, man.
Yeah, thank you.
So let me ask you too, before you guys were kind of, you and your brother started your own company, you said, what was your sponsorship before that? Were you still sponsoring yourself?
A lot. So my stepfather helped me tremendously. To this day, he still helps me out. And he's got Glenn's Heat and AC. He helped me out a whole lot. Whenever I needed parts, he was there for me. My dad helped me out a whole lot, getting stuff. I've had a couple sponsors, come and go. But, Indoor Motorsports has been a real big sponsor for the past 6 years, I think now. And they're a indoor slot car racing track in Sandston. Those little slot cars you play with when you were kids, they're a lot bigger and a whole lot faster. And he sponsors me. And then I've had Gene Nichols for a long time now, doing my carburetors and distributors. And we had a lot of issues with ignition until I was told to call Gene, and that man's the best I know. You know, someone might say that someone's better, but you have to prove it to me.
And I actually see Indoor Motorsports right there behind you over your shoulder.
Yeah, I got on the car. It's everywhere.
Yeah, it's just ironic you were talking about it, and it's happened to be right there. So that was a good plug.
Yeah, he used to be on the quarter panel, but I've got somebody that was, you know, supposed to get on the quarter panel and bring a lot of money. So I told him I was going to move him to the fender, and he was cool with it. So hopefully the sponsor comes. Otherwise, we'll just put Indoor Motorsports back on the quarter panel.
Gotta have a backup plan, right?
Always a backup plan.
So I know you said you've been running the Limited Sportsman. Have you thought about moving up?
So I moved up from limited stock to Sportsman in 2018, and I knew that it'd be a struggle and a whole lot of change and having to adapt to a different division with so much more adjustability in a car and power and people that have a lot of talent and money. And I did okay, decent, I guess. And I had a lot of issues going on with it and fighting me. And eventually we bought this car that I have now. To when COVID hit, I bought the car that I have now. We were just going to build it and go south with it when Saluda shut down. And my Sportsman car, I moved out the garage and blew the motor up in the driveway. And I blew the motor up, found out my wife was pregnant with our second child 2 weeks later. And I was like, you know, I can't, you know, a motor for that car, you're looking at $10,000, $15,000. Mm-hmm. And you've got a kid, so I mean, you know how much it cost.
Oh yeah.
At first, it kind of hit me as I felt like I was giving up and throwing in the towel, and I didn't try hard enough. But I knew that with having 2 kids and we just moved to a bigger house and higher mortgage payment and all, it's like I didn't want to give up racing. I didn't want to half-ass Sportsman, so I got rid of that car and moved back to a way more affordable division until we can. You know, I either find more sponsorship or you get more money to go back and do it the right way. Because I had, you know, my buddy Joe Scarborough always told me never half-ass anything. And I knew that if I stayed in Sportsman that I wouldn't have the money to run up front with them. So I moved back to a division where I knew I could be able to afford it.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. And, you know, you mentioned Joe Scarborough. He's been mentioned on, I think, 3 of the last 4 shows that we've done.
The legend.
So I'll if you're watching, Joe, or even if you're not and you're going to rewatch this later, I'll shoot you a message here very soon.
Joe is awesome. I mean, we get to the next 3 hours and I will brag to you about Joe Scarborough.
Oh,
I was probably 11 years old. He was in the fire department in Charles City County with my brother. And then Joe got out of the department and I ran into him again when I was 19 or 20, I think. We all got drunk and went up to a gas station right off the interstate. And he was coming back from Langley one night, and I said, man, look at that cool hauler. Walked in, and Joe's standing there. And, you know, I got his phone number again, and we, you know, got our friendship back. And I started talking to him, and he was mentoring me, and he saw the struggles that we were going through. And I credit Joe for pretty much everything you see behind me. I mean, I struggled a lot, and he pulled me in and showed me a lot of things to do with the chassis and ways to drive. And after he started mentoring me is when we really started winning and doing great at Virginia Motor Speedway. And Joe, he's an awesome guy because my black car that I won my last championship with in 2016, he actually built that car to come race against me and show me how it was done. And he ended up getting a bad wreck at South Boston and modified and got a bad concussion and quit racing. So he came to me and I had told him, I was like, you put me in that car, we're going to win with it. And the first night out in that car, it pretty much dominated. And Joe is just a phenomenal chassis guy. And even when we were dominating, you could walk up to him. Hell, you can ask Corey Bradley, even if someone in second or third in the points, you can ask Joe, hey, what are y'all doing? And Joe will help you set up a car to outrun us. Because at the end of the day, it's not about, oh, I dominated you. Well, if I dominated you because you didn't know how to be faster, it's not as fun.
Yep.
I want to beat the best. I don't want to beat somebody every week. And you know what I mean? It's not fun.
No, it's not. I understand that. And I think that speaks volumes to him as a person, to Joe as a person. That's really great to hear. And like I said, I'll have to get him on here very soon.
I mean,
so
actually, he's wrote a book called Want to Race, and it's on Amazon. And it's pretty much a book to teach you how to get into racing without spending $1 million to get in. So it's
don't go kart racing.
You said don't go kart racing?
Yeah, don't go kart racing.
Just don't race. I always said that I never got into trouble or drugs growing up because I was too poor from racing.
I think that's fair. I think it was about the same for us. Or you never have time, or you never have the money to go do it. But
yeah, I think racing's a drug in itself. I mean, if you look at a drug, it's something that you blow all your money on. You'll ruin your life over pretty much. And race car, blow all my money. I've ruined relationships. I've skipped out on family events. I've lost jobs over racing. I mean, it's a drug if you ask me.
Yeah, I can't debate you on that one. I 100% agree. But it's something I wouldn't give up.
No, not at all.
But it looks like you got Zach a little emotional over here in the comments. He's got the little crying faces.
Zach's always emotional.
Yeah, just a little bit.
You ever seen Billy Bob off Varsity Blues?
I knew you were going to say it before you even said it. It's okay, Zach.
Well, Zach cries because, Zach's going to cry.
So speaking of Zach, I asked him to give me just one little thing about you that I could bring up. And he told me that you used to get sick before your races.
I still get sick before my races.
Is it a nerve thing, or is it
100%?
100%.
I mean, opening night this year, you can ask Zach. I walked up to him and said, "Hey man, you got any gum, dude? I need something to calm me down."
Yeah,
I had one, and championships that I've had. It's just still nervous every single time. But as soon as I strap in the car and fire it off, everything just goes away. I just psych myself out every time.
Yeah, I had to bring myself down. I used to do the same thing. Nerves would get me, and
in any given season, there's a trash can behind our car that I'll throw up in at least 3 to 4 races.
Yeah, we beat Ian to it. He said, "You used to? Like, you're still doing it every time."
Yeah, they love it because I'll just walk away, and you'll watch me just like throw up over my shoulder, and I'll just keep on walking. So like I act like nobody saw it.
Even though everybody knows.
Oh yeah, everybody knows.
Oh man, that's funny. So I know, was there ever anything else that you ever wanted to race other than at VMS?
I mean, I've always wanted to race asphalt. Because my driving style, I don't get all, turn sideways and hard to the right like most of those guys. If you watch my car, we're flat and going left every time, even on the dirt track. And I've always wanted to go asphalt. I've done some testing in an asphalt car. And it's just, I thought about, maybe going and trying out Dominion or Langley because, hell, we're 35 minutes from Langley where I'm at. But as long as my brother has a dirt car in his garage and we're going to Saluda, we're racing dirt. That's just how it is. Yep. So maybe one day I'll get a car, we'll go play around with it. But Saluda's awesome. It's hard to find a track as good as them. I'll brag about them any day.
I've never been to Saluda, unfortunately. It's nothing against Saluda. The reason I haven't been, I was just used to being at the go-kart track, or I was usually at South Boston or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I grew up. My dad used to race down there, so we were on the other side. I was used to asphalt racing.
So my dad started racing Saluda in the mid '70s on a go-kart, and he'd been racing Saluda in the '70s, '80s, '90s. He quit like right around the time I was born. Then he got a car for a season or two, and then there was like a big kind of a gap between I think he might have had a car like '96, '97 maybe, and then my brother Robbie, when he turned 16. My grandparents gave him this big 4-door Buick. We called it the Bomb Buicks. It probably had 130-inch wheelbase, big 4 you know. And they were like, "It's your first car," and he's like, "Man, you know, I don't know if I can drive this on the street. My friends are gonna pick on me." And he was like, "Let's go racing with us." So he knocked the glass out, I put a roll cage in it, and went to Saluda racing. And then he, you know, slowly started racing. And first time that I went and watched him race, I got hooked, and I started building my first car when I was 12. So we pretty much been going to Saluda for 50 years.
50 years. That's all.
I mean, Langley, Dominion, you know, they're good tracks. It's just I don't know of a single dirt track close to here that can hold a candle to VMS. I've actually been told by many people that I'm spoiled by Saluda because I won't go to other tracks because their safety crews just aren't up to spec of Saluda. Like, I want to be able to flip my car and have someone at my door when I'm, you know, finished rolling, because I got to work on Monday morning. And their staff is just phenomenal. The facility's great. I don't know many tracks that have the Jaws of Life on standby, foam on standby in case your car catches on fire. You know, I've been to dirt tracks around here where you'll have 3 cars get, you know, tangled up, and it's a 45-minute red flag to try to get the car untangled because they got a old beat-up pickup truck with a stick out the back trying to get them pulled apart. So I guess I'm spoiled with Saluda.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, to be honest with you. You know, there's different go-kart tracks and things like that I've ran across that I've really thought a lot of. And I think it's kind of the same thing. Like, you kind of get spoiled by either the facility. For us, you know, you can drive your car to the grid. I got to push mine to the grid. So if I find a place that has a nice area where I'm pushing my cart, like, that's going to be up there on my list. But I know.
And I won't say the track because, you know, I don't know who's listening. I don't want to be that guy.
We ain't got that many listeners, but we're up there.
But, man, we had to line up one night for a race, and it took 10 or 15 minutes to find a lineup sheet because the guy that had it was drunk in the bed of a truck. And it's just, I can't race those places. You know, it's just hard.
Yeah, it only takes one time before you realize. Then you're like, yeah, I'm just going to finish out.
No.
But, you know, we could sit here and talk stories and everything else all night. And I asked about your, you know, what your plans might be for the future, what your plans are for the year. What about, you know, what about racing with your brother? Have you guys thought about, you mentioned asphalt. Have you thought about letting him stay in dirt and let him, like, focus on his dirt, and then you run asphalt and you focus on your asphalt?
So me and him have been tight since birth. And if he is at a track, I mean, like, I might get a car and, you know, go dabble here and there when Saluda's not running or something, but we'll always be together. You know, it's not like I'm going to let him go to Saluda tonight and I'm going to go to Langley and we'll call each other. It just, that'll never happen.
No, for sure.
And, you know, I wanted to have a championship and win a race, and I did those things. And now I'm kind of like, I've already told Randy, I was like, man, you know, if you go out there and, you know, you start doing good and we're looking at a points race, my car's right here. You have a great backup car. I want to see him do good. And I want to focus on, you know, him running up front. I want to see him get his first win. You know, he got to see me win. I want to see him win a race now.
That's fair.
So we're trying to focus on getting him faster so he can go out there and show him what's up. And, I mean, I'm sure in the future I'll be on asphalt a little bit. I've talked to a couple people, and I've got a guy that, you know, I can run his car if I want to, and it's just the schedules don't jive. And right now it's hard for me to do a lot, pretty much anything, because I've got a 2-year-old and a 4-month-old. And, you know, as a parent, it's hard to just drop the thing you're doing and go do stuff, especially when you care about being around your kids.
Yeah, it is. It's very hard. And, you know, on that note, I wanted to ask you, as drivers, we usually have people we look up to. And I know you mentioned Joe Scarborough, but is there someone else at the racetrack that you've, like, looked up to and kind of wanted to model your career after, maybe?
I mean, when I was a kid at Saluda, because, I mean, I didn't really go to a lot of other tracks. You know, Zach and Ian and all them, they've seen a lot of racing at other places and all, and it was we stayed in a campground at 5 minutes from Saluda. So, I mean, I just went to Saluda every weekend. And I always looked up to people like Donnie Daniels, which he ran Sportsman for years. And he was a great competitor on, and he was a great guy on and off the track. I'm best friends with his son now, and I get to spend time with them. I always love watching Booper Bear race, just because he was a great driver. He was clean, and he would just go out there and beat up on them cleanly. I liked Roger Jamerson. I don't know what it was, but I always loved watching sportsman cars race. The late models are cool and all, and the straight stocks were great, but I don't know what it was about the sportsman cars. Just I guess it's because they always had hard beating and banging racing.
Mm-hmm.
And as a kid, like I love looking up to those guys. And then from probably 18, 19 on, it's pretty much Joe Scarborough is like who I look up to as a role model on the racetrack.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to check that book out that you mentioned. And for me, myself, it was always, like I said, being on the asphalt side, the modifieds or super late models was always my go-to.
I'm just not allowed to have a modified. My wife says if I want to have something that looks like a shoebox with tires, then she'll stick some tires on a box and push them around in the backyard.
Can she give you 750 horsepower too?
Yeah, I guess. Randy's dying to have a modified, so I'm just hoping, we can get him a win this season in the limited stock so we can sell his car. And Skippy Johnson, he's already said he'll hook us up with a modified, so we're trying to get Randy a win so we can get rid of his car and get him in a modified and go to the front.
Let me know when you do that. I'll come out.
Oh, so you'll only come if he gets a modified?
No. I'll make sure. Oh, okay. I mean, if he's gonna, you got to tell him he's got some incentive to win now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, I got to win. Robbie's coming.
No, not what I meant. He can get a modified. Come on now.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, I know. For me, growing up, my brother, he really wasn't into racing, so I can only imagine what it'd be like, to have your brother at the racetrack every weekend, your best friend there with you every weekend.
Like, it's hard to look up to Randy as a racer, but as a person, I look up to my brother every day. He's an awesome guy. He runs our business day in and day out. He strives for success. He's a great father. He's the best friend I've ever had.
Yeah, that's great.
Walk in, punch him in the face, and in 5 minutes we'll be laughing about something. Like we're gonna argue. My wife's like, "How long y'all gonna be mad at each other?" We're good in 5 minutes.
Oh, we're already good.
Yeah, good. Mm-hmm.
So
there's pretty much nothing he can do, we won't be good in a couple minutes.
So with you mentioned punching in the face. I'm just gonna go ahead and transition in. Has there been a night at the racetrack that you guys have, not you guys necessarily with each other, but maybe something that changed the course of your career, like a fight argument, something that changed the course of your career?
Like as in like with another competitor?
Yeah, not with your brother.
Hey, me and Randy never really argued. Everybody knows that, me and James have been feuding for years.
Mm-hmm.
Because hell, I've had when Clark found out I was coming back to limited stock, he's like, "That's awesome," because all the fans love watching the Ryan James, going back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
And pretty much like every year it's a clean slate, and we'll just every year we see how it goes. Like we'll start out first of the year good friends, and then towards the end of the year we probably don't talk much.
So that's good to have a rival that's going to push you like that. And for those of you that don't know, he's talking about James Givens.
Yeah, you got to go out there, and He always runs up front. You have to outrun who's out front. And,
Mm-hmm.
Right now it's looking like Brian Maxiell came back in there, and he's fast. Brian is going to be hard to beat. But when you have people that run as fast as James and Brian, it makes you push harder to make your car faster. And, anybody that runs against them, I can guarantee you those two guys are in their garage 3 to 4 nights a week working on that car. And people that are going to go out there and, let me go wash the car before I take it to the track, and I haven't touched it since last week, you're not going to beat them.
No.
My car, I ran Saturday night, finished 4th. Sunday by lunchtime, it was washing on jack stands, and I was already tearing it apart to figure out why we weren't fast enough. And that's one thing that Joe taught me. He was like, you were going to win races in the garage. You don't spend time in the garage, you're not going to be in victory lane.
That's right.
Yeah.
So with, I think we're at a good transition point right now. Ian is down here waiting on us. He popped up a few minutes ago. I was kind of giving him a second. And can you hear me, Ian? All right. So we're going to go ahead and bring Ian on. We're going to get about 10 minutes with you guys together. So if you got any stories with Ian, now's the time to bring him out, Ryan.
I don't even know Ian.
Who's this guy?
Hey. You sure you want to give us 10 minutes together?
I am wanting 10 minutes together with you two. So just act natural. Don't hold back.
Yeah, if that's not natural, I don't know what is.
That's perfectly natural. That's good. That's great.
Is that
And Ryan.
Yeah, Eva's with me. Got my daughter.
Hey,
Picked her
Eva.
up. There's Uncle Ryan.
Uncle Big Belly.
And Tristan says, "What's up, Ryan?" Tristan
Oh,
told him.
Lord.
Who is that?
Yeah, we don't know him.
In the comments here, I'm reading what's coming across. So
No, Tristan's all right, I guess.
I guess.
I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. You know, he's the reason we didn't win opening night.
How do you figure that?
Blame it on Tristan.
Oh, fair. You got to blame it on somebody.
Yeah.
All right. So Ian, he just touched down. He's been on a plane, so I don't know if you've been able to watch any of this, Ian.
Yeah, I've been tuning in a little bit.
Tuning in a little bit. All right, cool. So we were. Tristan's back over here. He said, "Screw you." So
I'm
we
going
were
to
talking.
keep because Ian's daughter's here.
So we were talking about different things like rivals and things like that, how you guys met. And he was telling us the story of, meeting you at what's now Skippy Johnson Motorsports, you said, right?
Yeah, that's where he met me.
Yeah.
With
So
one of my past relationships, actually. Oh, jeez.
Right.
Oh, man.
Jeez Louise.
Back when he was 60 pounds lighter and had less of a beard.
That's right.
I'm trying to think of the timeline on this. I think that was a couple years before I met you, Ian.
This was, 2013, 14, Ryan?
Was that with Lauren yet?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
Lauren there.
Yeah, you were with Lauren and the other one was there.
Yeah.
I was a toddler.
Yeah, you were.
Racing.
Jeez. Pit Lizard Motorsports.
Yeah.
So what sparked you to start up a conversation with Ryan about kind of changing where your life was going, Ian?
Part of conversations with me.
Just $13 an hour wasn't cutting it at the time.
I mean, that's fair.
And I needed a career, not just get out. Just not working 20, 30 hours a week at a parts store wasn't going to advance my future, if you will.
Yeah, and he mentioned too, coming back from the military and things like that.
Yeah.
I know that I ran into you down in Charlotte when I was living down in North Carolina for that Racing for Heroes.
Yep.
You were down there with them. And Ryan, have you had anything to do like with whether it's supporting or going to the events or anything like that with Ian for the Racing with Heroes?
Go back to Joe Scarborough.
What?
Go back to Joe Scarborough because he's the one that introduced me to it.
Joe.
Yep.
All roads lead to Joe. I've ran Racing for Heroes on the car and helped push, supporting them, and I haven't been able to make it down there maybe once. But I try my best to spread Racing for Heroes because it's a great organization.
Mm-hmm.
For helping out veterans and getting them involved in racing.
Yeah, I 100% agree, and that's why I don't know if you guys saw the post I made of it. It's a great organization. I fully That's one that you can get behind 100% and never have a doubt about what you're doing.
Yep.
So, Ian, we talked about how Ryan was running the limited stock, right? That's where you won your 2 championships. You
Yep.
were on the pit crew with him, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So what was it like working in the pits on a back-to-back championship winning race team?
It's working with Ryan, so it's easy. I mean, really, we go to the track, we have fun. We go back to the shop, and with Joe, it was actually pretty serious at the shop. We'd get things done.
God, he always at us.
Yeah, he did. But like in victory lane, we'd be checking tires. Taking pressure, seeing what kind of growth we had on the tires, stuff like that, and I think that really helped us in the long run.
Yeah, I was just thinking about it. I know not everybody gets a chance to work on a championship team, much less a back-to-back championship team. And what drew you to the dirt side of things, Ian?
So,
Wait.
geez, back in high school, 2004, 2005, I guess, Brandon Sandridge, that was brought up earlier, me and him were in high school together, real good friends. And he started dating James Given's daughter back then. And he got a car. I had a piece of crap car that I was thinking I was going to get going and never panned out, but it is what it is. And from there, I went off to the military, and as soon as I came back, I was back helping Brandon out. I think the first year I started helping him out, I think we finished second in the championship. Won a couple races.
So, being that you two have been on the crew together, and other than the championships, what's been the best memory working together?
Me and him?
Yeah.
Oh, man, me and Ian have fun.
The best memory, one that stands out other than the championships, victory lane, those nights, of course, are going to stand head and shoulders above a lot of others. But
how about when we were behind the Food Lion in King William with baby wipes and new shorts? Oh, geez.
How do you let a man borrow your pants and he takes a crap?
Oh, geez.
Yeah, so you crapped in someone else's pants.
Yeah, I crapped in Ryan's shorts.
Yep. It happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm assuming that probably wasn't your brightest memory, Ian. It might have been the moment you laughed the hardest at now, but
that is one of our funniest, absolutely.
So, is there another moment too that stands out?
I got another funny Ian moment, but Ian's daughter's with him, and we just ain't gonna talk about it.
She can't hear what you're saying, so it's all good.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I've got earbuds in.
Remember the old Q-tip?
Oh, God.
It's actually the boys' bedtime.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yes, I know about the Q-tip. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Hey, is Zach still on? Zach knows about the Q-tip.
He's probably still watching. Yeah, he's probably still watching.
Yep.
Man, I don't know how Zach brings a girl to the racetrack. She ain't at my house for 5 minutes. Zach then got kicked in the truck with the other guys, and Ian got Zach's girl up in the truck with him.
Oh, jeez.
Poor Zach.
God, poor Zach.
Nothing happened, I swear.
Nope.
I'm just, Zach, if you're watching, I did not know.
Poor Zach.
Poor Zach. Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
So, before we finish up with the two of you together, Ryan and Ian, I know, having worked together in the past, is there any plans on working together and building something, Ian, I know you're planning on racing yourself. Is there plans on working together and building something in the future for the two of you?
Well, we're working together now, I don't tell many people I help Ian out. Look at the guy, but we're definitely teammates. Ian's definitely, you got me, Randy, Ian, Zach, if he wants to hang out with us, I don't know. Zach, we'll get Zach's dad because Zach is just a poster boy. He just drives the car. And then our buddy Bill Cota that is racing late models, but it's pretty much the five of us all hanging out and goofing off.
So
but we'll all Ian will always have
as my wife likes to say, we're GOD Motorsports, gaggle of dumbasses. So
I think it's great to have your closest friends at the track, not just really good friends, but your closest friends at the track with you. And I know, Ryan mentioned having his brother there all the time. That's a big thing. So, Ryan, before we go, is there any sponsors or anything like that you want to thank, other than you and your brother?
I mean, I got to thank Indoor Motorsports, Justin Spurlock Design, Gene Nichols Carburetors, Hutchens Mechanical. I mean, I've got to thank them over and over again. A couple sponsors that didn't come back with me this year that have helped me out a lot is Gary's Automotive. I gotta thank Gary down in Dinwiddie for helping me out, even though COVID kind of hurt him a little bit and he wasn't able to sponsor us this year. Then we got Lakeside Restaurant, Ed Allen's Boats and Baits. They're still trying to recover from all the COVID. And then I just picked up Old Forge Tire and Alignment this year, which is my buddy Bill that is running late models that helps us out a lot with tires on the cars. And actually, the night that Zach and Corey were on a couple weeks ago, while I was watching them, I was doing tests on my engine and found out that I'd wiped the camshaft. And the same night I finished that up, we were tearing the motor back out, and I dropped it off with Bill. And between Bill and my stepdad, I think they had the motor back together and in the car in a week after
That's
tearing
awesome.
it apart and building a brand new engine to get it ready for opening day. So I got to thank Old Forge Tire Alignment. Bill Cota is the man. He definitely looks at us.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Ian, but Ian don't like him.
I love Bill. What are you talking about?
Bald ass self.
All right, so Ryan, we'll have to get you back on here in the future, man. And it was really good talking to you. It was a lot of fun, and having you two together was pretty cool. But we're gonna let Ian get some time now, so let him get some time in the sun.
In the spotlight.
Yeah.
Hey.
In his $100,000 Ford F-350.
No, it's just an F-150.
I'm out here driving a 85 Nissan hardbody, and Ian's got a damn 2021 F-350 Platinum.
Okay.
All right. Well, thanks, Ryan, and we'll talk to you soon. All right, man?
Love you.
All right, man. Y'all be good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. All right, Mr. Ian Ogden.
What's up, buddy?
Oh, dude. I feel like, so I've known Ian, for those of you watching, I've known Ian for a very long time. And moving away and starting a family and everything like that, we kind of, we kind of did our own thing. But
Yeah, absolutely.
Ian, for a long time, this guy was one of my, if not my best friend. And we've got a lot of stories together. Not so many racing stories. We'll
leave the personal life out of this one.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, this is a racing show. That's what we're here for. We're here for racing.
That's right.
And what happened? That stuff. Talking to Ryan, that was at the racetrack, so that works out.
Yeah.
So I know, like I said, you're running this year. I don't know if you've told everybody what you're running. You want to go ahead and let everybody know what you're running this year?
Yeah, so the plan is, plans got kind of a wrench thrown in them last night. But the plan is to get out to VMS, run a couple races with the Racing for Heroes Camaro Limited Stock. So that Camaro has a 602 in it. So it's going to be a little bit of a test for not only the track, but myself as well. They've got a couple cars that are going to come out with 602s. Going to start making rules for them also, and see where we fit in with those built motors.
Well, that's awesome. Anytime you get to test and lend a hand in future, what the racing future holds for a racetrack or a series in general, that's a big step and a lot of trust someone's putting in you. So that's great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now I know, knowing you, like I said, for as long as I have, you've ran a lot of different types of things.
Yeah.
And you ran a go-kart.
I did. That was
for
fun.
us.
Yeah.
And for and ended up following the field off. I guess everyone thought the race was over. It wasn't just you. It wasn't.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what happened there.
I think about 5th place ended up winning that race on the last lap.
Yeah,
The whole top 4 pulled off.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
You were in like 3rd or something like that.
Yeah,
But
yeah, 4th or I think 4th maybe.
yeah, you had come back up through the field pretty good.
Yeah.
And Ryan asked if you're going to go check the mail.
Yeah. So that story, I don't know. Did he tell you that story or?
I don't think so. No,
Okay,
I don't.
So checking the mail. Back, God, I guess it was 2014 or 15 when I had my first limited stock. I was running probably 7th or 8th. And caution came out, and I was like, "Oh, I need to cool my tires off. Go up in the mud a little bit and cool the tires off." Well, I decided I went up a little too high and ripped the exhaust off the car. So if you lose your exhaust, it's an automatic disqualification. So rather than losing the exhaust completely off the car, it was still hanging. We pulled off the track and salvaged a 14th or 15th place finish.
Well then, just got a little too close to the wall checking the mail. I get it.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, just up in the mud, man, up in the cushion, ripped the exhaust off.
So, being that you're back running the limited stock again this year, is this one of your favorite things that you've driven?
Yeah, dirt cars is where it's at, man. I don't know. It's just something about it. When you've grown up around it, I went. Ryan was talking about going to Saluda, back when he was a kid, and my mom's cousin, I guess it was, used to have a car out at VMS, so we would go out there, back when I was probably 10, 11, 12 years old. And so, I grew up around it, wanted to get out there with the car. And like I said, in high school, we had that dream, me and Brandon Sandridge, of going out and racing dirt cars. And it worked out a little better for him. He ended up, like I said, he's married to James's daughter. And so he got kind of in with them, and they built a car, and he went out and he raced for, I guess, 12 years or so. He's out of it now, with the family.
Yep.
I just had my kid,
yeah. Congratulations, by the way.
Appreciate it. My second full child, 3rd total. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So yeah, dealing with that, trying to juggle that, having a new baby, juggle the wife's expectations with that and the race car. And so it's been kind of fun trying to juggle all of those things.
And Ryan asked about floating valves. So what's the story behind that?
Jesus, why is he bringing up all this stuff? No,
you had the opportunity on here. You could have got him too, being on that crew.
There's not many things that I can fault Ryan for at this point. But floating valves, we went down to Clary's when I had my first car.
Oh, I think I know.
And so I had a 557 gear in the rear end, and they said, "Oh, try second out." I said, "Okay, yeah, I'll try second." And so I came out of turn 2, going down the back stretch, and those motors don't like turning above 7,400 RPMs. And I think I took it to about 9,000. Thought I had a Honda. So.
Oh yeah, they don't. They're not built like a open.
No, that was not my brightest moment. So it is what it is. But
oh man. So what kind of are you planning on running anywhere other than VMS this year?
Nah, VMS will be unless something crazy happens where there's like a race down at Fayetteville or something that Racing for Heroes has a big contingent at or something like that, then I might try and make it down there for that. But VMS, like I said, just a couple races this year. We were planning to make it Saturday, but we got the car up on the lift last night and found some other issues that we need to take care of. And so we're going to push that off until probably my next scheduled race was June 12th, I believe. So we'll see how that goes.
All right. Well, that's good. I know even if it's a limited schedule, at least you know what you're going to be doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I asked Ryan too. Are we going to see some Ian Ogden shirts or racing just Racing for Heroes shirts?
So Racing for Heroes, if you go on Etsy actually, and look up Racing for Heroes, they've got shirts and hats and all that stuff. I think they're like $20, $25 for the shirts. And they're the like Under Armour style, not the tight Under Armour style, but that moisture wicking material. Yep. So they've got their shirts on there. They've got hats. I think you can order decals for like $1. And all that money goes back into the programs to help veterans. So whether it be the motorsports therapy, a vitamin program that they have where they take guys, get blood work done, see where they're lacking as far as vitamins go and all that stuff. And they hook them up, get them on vitamins. They also do stem cell treatment for guys. One of the guys has MS, and it's actually he was bound to a scooter basically, and so he's actually walking up and down out of his house now, like going to get the mail and stuff.
That's incredible.
Yeah, so those are a couple things they do. They've got a full gym down at their headquarters that guys can go down and use whenever they want, and then we've got the racing program. So they've got a dirt late model. They've got the dirt legend that a guy named Adam Benaway runs. They've got my car, and they have or had a champ car, endurance.
Okay, I got
car. You. Well, they had two of them at one point, but
Ryan also mentioned here that it's not bad. He said that you're part of the reason that he won his first championship. You gave him the motor after he blew up.
Yeah, so that motor that I floated the valves in, we got the valves fixed in it, and with the help of Glenn and Ryan and Randy, and the second to last race, Ryan was like, man, I don't know. I think it's just down on power. I don't know. So we did a compression test on his motor. It was super low. Did a compression test on my motor. It was good. And I said, look, you've helped me out. It's my time to help you. So we spent that week taking the motor out of my car, taking the motor out of his car. We swapped motors, and he went out, and I think he had a clutch issue, and he needed a push start from Steven Childress out of turn 3. But we, I think, did we win that? Yeah, we won that night and won the championship.
And I also heard you're the brains behind the foam fingers from Zach.
Yeah, so the foam fingers, that's another, VMS. We aren't allowed radios in the dirt world, Mm-hmm. So we try to use hand signals, give a little bit of it, like say, put your hands out for a gap behind, for the car behind you, kind of tell people where to move if you can, if you see something they're not seeing. And so we needed something to kind of do that with, and we couldn't find anything really. And it's funny, my wife is actually the brains of that. She was like, oh, just get some foam fingers for Zach, whatever. And so we went to Party City, we bought some blue foam fingers, and the rest is history.
That's perfect, man. I mean, you got to do what you got to do. And yeah,
absolutely.
It's the same way for us. We're not allowed to use radios, any kind of dirt racing pretty much. But,
yep.
You thought about coming back and running another kart anytime and actually finishing?
Can I run one of yours?
I'm not even running right now. So.
Yeah, I hear you. No, shoot. Back to that. I mean, that was something me and you kind of put together, and then obviously we needed your dad's permission and got a motor, and unfortunately we blew that motor up,
but she was still running.
Hell yeah, she was.
She was toast and was still running. So
yeah.
I don't know if it would have done much in the main if you made the main. But.
But no, that was good times, man. I gotta thank you obviously for putting a little bit of a push to me to say, hey, let's get this kart done for you. And then obviously thank your dad, for letting me, use his motor. And
yeah,
I know that's a touchy subject, bud, but
it's good to hear stories, honestly.
Yeah,
it's not going to be.
Yeah, I came off the track, and I think your dad was just happy that we were able to do what we did. And I said, hey man, like the motor's blown, and he's like, yeah, whatever. I'm not even worried about it.
That was right when they went to Big Pipe, wasn't it? The Big Pipe blowing, because I think that was the first time that motor had a big pipe on it, and you went out and ran on it.
Yeah.
I had it with the weenie pipe.
Pipe.
Yeah, the little weenie pipe, the little junior pipe.
The Q-tip pipe, as Ryan would say.
Yeah, the Q-tip.
Oh
man. So have you had any more thought about running, I don't know, like a dirt legend or anything like that? I know you said you guys have one.
Look, if I've got my fire suit and my helmet, I don't care what it is.
I know. Running a G-Force or running a go-kart, running it.
Arena racing.
Arena racing.
Yeah, we won't talk about that.
That was fun.
It was fun.
I had fun being in the shop that week straight.
Yeah.
Ian called me and said, I bought an arena car, or I'm getting an arena car. You think you can help me out? I was like, yeah, when's the first race? And he's like, oh, like 6 days.
Yeah. We got to go to Virginia Beach and pick up a motor and pick up this and that.
Yeah, Richard Noblet was building all the arena car motors at that time. Yep. So I wish they would do something to bring those back, but I know the Coliseum's gone. So
where did we end up in North Carolina?
Moyock. Yep.
Yeah, we did end up in North Carolina. That's right.
Yep.
North Carolina, Virginia Beach,
and
then Hampton. And then back to Richmond.
Yeah. All right. That's as far as we're going.
That's where we're going.
That's as far as we're going. All right.
The rest is history.
Yeah, the rest is history. We're going to keep it that way.
That's right.
I know when you came out in the arena cars, what made you pick the song "Wrecking Ball" by Miley Cyrus?
Because in the heat race or whatever it was called, B main or whatever. After qualifying, I flipped the car down the backstretch.
I thought that was in the Top Dog.
No, that was in the B main, and so I was like, "Well, shit." I rolled the car.
Perfect. That's perfect then.
Yeah, and just barely made the main after we flipped it, and so we went out of the main, and so.
I know guys like Camden Testerman and people like that were running back then.
Camden, Cody.
Yep. Cody Carlton been on here. He was winning a lot of the arena car races, and
yes, he was.
When he wasn't, Camden was.
Yep, him, Camden, Connor Medeiros, who's helping Sam Hunt Racing, which is connected with Racing for Heroes.
Yep. You can. I wanted to talk a little bit about that too. I'm glad you brought that up. Working with Sam Hunt, I've heard nothing but good things of working with Sam Hunt Racing. And what is it like working with a team that's actually up in the Xfinity Series and gets that time, that TV time? Not necessarily a lot of TV time, but they do get
right. Oh yeah, I mean, now they've got Santino Ferrucci, one of the most controversial drivers of the era, I guess is what they're calling him. And then a couple of weeks back, a month ago, whatever it was, he ran Josh Berry out of the groove at Phoenix and got the old double bird from Josh Berry. So that got him some TV time.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, to take the organization, and there's a video, I think on YouTube or somewhere, of a promotional video they did back 2020, right? Early 2020. Yeah. We went to Daytona with them. I got to go to Daytona with the founder of Racing for Heroes, the guys from Sam Hunt. We all got to hang out in the garage at Daytona and do a little promotional footage and all that stuff. And to be able to say, hey, look, this is a veterans organization out of Danville, Virginia, and we've made it to Daytona, and be on that large stage was pretty awesome. So getting all that exposure.
Yeah, and I know, like I said, I got to meet up with you down in Charlotte when you were down there working with Racing for Heroes.
Yeah, and that was another cool event. We actually got to hang out with the guys from Old Armor Brewing, which is down in Kannapolis, and they got us hooked up with the Carrabas County Chamber of Commerce, and we were able to be up in their little area and kind of pitch some ideas to them. And then we got to go up to the Speedway Club or whatever they call it there, and have a meal and all that stuff. So it was really cool.
Yeah, that's really awesome, man. I know I'm really glad to see, like, from where the time you and I were hanging out and I'd see you every day to now. It's
Right.
crazy. It's crazy to see like how far you've come as not only as just like as a racer, you're racing at Saluda, but as you've helped with this organization and they've come so far, and it's
Yeah.
pretty insane to think about.
And like I was telling you guys earlier, it all goes back to Joe, because I was working in that parts store, and Joe had come in there one day and he was like, "Hey man, like, you're a veteran. I see you're kind of struggling with what you're going to do with your life, whatever. He's like, go down to Racing for Heroes with me one weekend. Come on down. They got an open house. Go run some cars around the track and see what you can do with it." And ever since I started going down there, man, life's just kind of
Taking
taking
off.
a turn. It's taking a turn for the way better. And so, I mean, you know how I was back when I was running those arena cars. I wasn't near the person I am now. So,
Well, you were always a good guy to me. You were good people, man. And talking to Ryan, I can see that you're still good people to be around. So.
yeah, absolutely. I try my best, man. I try to be as good a friend as I can.
Just mellowed out a little bit, I think.
Yeah, a little more mellow. Not so hot headed towards other people.
Same.
So, and
Yeah.
that could be age. That could be, like I said, going to Racing for Heroes and hanging out with those guys again, hanging out with veterans that are like-minded, and just being able to say, "Hey, look, man, like, I need to do something, and I don't know what it is." And they'd be like, "Look, here's some things we can do for you."
Yeah, that was awesome. I'm really glad they were able to give you that stuff, help you out, and kind of get your head straight, I guess.
Absolutely. Yep.
So definitely an organization that I want to keep track of and just see how far they're going to go.
Yeah, I think it'll be good, man. Like I said, Talladega this weekend, Colin Garrett's back in the Sam Hunt racing car, and he's going to be carrying Racing for Heroes on there. In a pretty sweet looking car. I don't know if you follow Sam Hunt Racing on Facebook or anything like that. I just got out of Facebook jail today, so I haven't been sharing anything for the last 30 days, but it's a pretty sweet looking car.
Yeah, I haven't been on Facebook, but to do stuff for the show much.
Right.
But some here and there, positive stuff I've been trying to promote.
Yep, absolutely.
But have you heard anything potentially about them trying to do something with a cup car?
So last year, I know Bristol. Yeah, last year at Bristol, James Davison ran the Racing for Heroes stuff on there, and I think that was kind of a partnership with somebody else that kind of donated the spot and was like, "Here," And James Davison was running for Rick Ware.
Yep.
So.
And I've heard a lot of good things about Rick Ware Racing, so maybe we'll see them again. Oh, excuse me, in the future, with Racing for Heroes.
Absolutely.
So.
Like I said, I think somebody kind of donated that spot that's tied in with Rick Ware pretty well. So we'll see.
Yeah, for sure. So other than your limited sportsman, before you got into that, did you have any plans of getting back into racing? Like something in mind specifically?
No, not really.
Just being around the track?
Yeah, I mean, I've had so much fun helping Ryan, helping Randy, with Joe. Like I said, when we won those championships with Ryan, and then we got to work with Joe, it's just ever since we've been able to do that, man, it's just been so much fun at the track. And until it's not fun, that's where I'll be.
It's not going to happen. There's always fun to be had at the racetrack.
That's right.
Always.
Yeah. So.
Well, Ian, we're getting ready to get off of here, but I wanted to let you know if there's any time you want to come back to the racetrack, go-kart track, doesn't matter. You let me know, and you're welcome with us at any time.
Awesome. Yeah. Let me know when you're coming to Capital City, and if we're not running VMS or I'm not running my car, wherever, I'll try to make it out if I'm not working.
I got a schedule I'll send to you. How about that?
All right. That'll work. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. And thanks for coming on here and talking about Racing for Heroes. Like I said, it's an organization that I really think a lot of. I've got family members that were military and things like that. I wasn't military myself, but I have a lot of respect for our military. And thank you for being, in our military and serving and doing what you did. And thanks for coming on here and talking, man. It was good talking to you, catching up.
Yeah, we need to hit each other up a little bit and kind of talk
Yeah.
about some other things. So
Yeah, you got my number, I think. So
yeah,
if
you got a
hit me up.
camper, so
Yeah, I do have a camper, which I'm going to be using this weekend, regardless of what happens with anything. So I've
Right.
already got plans. That thing
There
is,
you go.
I put too much time into that thing this week to let it
Right.
sit.
I hear you.
But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and let you go, Ian. Like I said,
All right,
thanks
buddy.
again for coming on here, dude.
Absolutely.
It was
I
a good
appreciate it.
show.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
man. Take it easy, all right?
All right. Have a good one, bud.
You too.
All right, bye.
Oh, wow. I actually really, really, really enjoyed both of those conversations. Never having spoke to Ryan before, I really, just letting you know, Ryan, I thought a lot of our conversation it was pretty good. So I'd love to have you guys back on at some point. Not necessarily you and Ian together, but maybe you and Randy and Ian and somebody else or something like that. So I don't want to do recurring guests too much right now until we grow a little bit, but just letting you guys know. And for the people that are still watching, I know some of you guys are waiting for the announcement for next week. And I wanted to take a little bit to apologize for the mishap that happened with the last show. But I will be making it up to you guys with next week's guest is going to try again, Steven Adams. He's going to give us another shot, and looks like we got everything figured out now. So we'll see. And if you didn't see on Facebook my announcement that our show is now available in podcast form, right now it looks like there's only one episode on there. I'm going to work on getting the other ones on there. This one will be on YouTube. It will also be. I'll make sure I get the podcast form downloaded for at least RSS feed, so you can go from there. And then I'm working on Apple Podcasts. And we may have some other really, really big announcements coming up. So that'd be really fun for the show and really cool. So something to throw out there, just hype up a little bit. You guys get excited. I'm excited. And right now it looks like we're going to be out at Elizabeth City for the first VDK race of the year on Saturday. So if you're out there, come and speak, or I might be doing little interviews here and there, but you guys are more than welcome to come to me and talk. And, if you want to have a few words and we can do a little something on camera, I'd be more than happy to. But, yeah, thanks for tuning in, everybody. We had a lot of comments, a lot of viewership this time. I'm good bounce back episode, and I can't wait for next week. And I'm so excited to announce our second guest that it's not the same. It's not Austin Yarborough. We're going to get Austin back on here, just letting you guys know, but it's not going to be next week. I think he's got a lot on his plate right now, so we're going to give him some time, but he's been communicating really well with us, and I appreciate that. And I appreciate Steven Adams also for communicating and staying in touch and following up and giving us another shot. So I'm going to go ahead and get off here. You guys go ahead and tune in on, what do we do now? Mondays? Sorry, it's been about 3 weeks since I've done this. Almost 3 weeks since I've done this. 2 weeks since I've done this. So you guys follow along, and I think we'll be doing some pretty fun stuff here coming up. I'm hoping a couple of really big guests. I'm waiting on some responses. So like really, really big guests. So you guys tune in and follow along. And if you want to listen to the podcast, listen to the podcast. If you want to watch the show live, watch it on YouTube, watch wherever you want. But thank you guys all for watching. And I can't wait to talk to you guys some more next week and on Monday. So thanks.